Hello once again and welcome to Folktale Devblog 19 with me, Simon Dean, the project lead. We're just a few days away from patch 0.2.2, so let's take a look at what's new. Right now I'm in the editor with all the interface hidden. There's a fair amount to see, so I'll fly around the map and stop at some of the highlights. First up are the Beastmen and their War Pig companions. In the editor, characters stand still to show their spawn points. Yesterday I saw a preview of work on patch 0.2.3 and that has villagers being controlled and walking around the terrain, so it won't be long until things start coming to life. Heading down into the human village, we'll see a number of assets from the Grassland Animals kit, including fish swimming in the river, grazing deer and a clucking chicken. Well, okay, it's not actually clucking as there's no sound in Sandbox at the moment, but it's not hard to imagine. Tending to our pumpkin patch are the male and female farmers, complete with straw hats and pitchforks that they'll use to defend themselves when your fledgling village comes under attack. Looks like we could do with a spot of pest control as a colony of rabbits seems to be munching through our crops. Since releasing the editor, community members have been combining props to create new ones and sharing screenshots with us in the forum. In patch 0.2.2, we've taken that feedback and implemented it, adding wooden bridges to span rivers and ponds. Here are a few of the designs for human bridges, all of which we'll see on our journey around the map. Up in the hills, the male and female miners have moved in and set up camp. Clearly they've been working on their synchronised mining exercises, something that we'll fix in time for 0.3. Further down the slopes is the start of a bear den. In time we'll add a few more assets to better sell the point of interest, but for now it's low priority. Catching a cheeky meal from a vantage point, the squirrel is a good example of background wildlife we'll be adding to all biomes in Folktale. While generally low priority, we've made several for patch 0.3 so that we can test wildlife AI behaviours. Strolling into the fortified kobold camp, you may recognise the tents from the tutorial. We brought those into Sandbox and added a few more props so that we can make battle camps from where enemies will launch waves of attacks against your village. One of the great things about the editor is the ability to use assets in new ways. Here, I've made the swamp beast a gargantuan hulk of nature that could easily stamp on your villagers. Another community request was for additional water tiles to allow for more complicated river and lake arrangements. I'm pleased to say that we've added those in and it's really opened up the options for rivers. And finally, as we enter the graveyard scene where the spiders, necromancer and skeletons hang out, you'll notice that the cloud cover thickens and becomes more moody, and the ambience changes to night time. We've replaced the cloud system and started migrating ambient zones from the tutorial over into the editor. Right now though, there is no UI, so we'll be leaving this corner of the map hard-coded with the nighttime scene. There's only ambient and moonlight at the moment, and in the coming weeks we'll add the particle effects and mood lighting from Devblog 15, as well as adding a toggleable day-night cycle. One of the nice features about the editor is it's what you see is what you get live preview. If you want to try out a giant skeleton boss or have a mega swamp beast, you're only a few clicks away from seeing how it would look in the final game. One thing worth mentioning is that we haven't as yet optimised the assets, so with each patch the editor frame rate may start falling when you open the Human Village file. Don't worry about that. Once we've finalised all the assets for inclusion, we'll add in the optimised versions for drawing and the distance, and the frame rate will start to climb again. It's also worth mentioning that by default static batching is turned off to allow editing. The player doesn't need editing, so batching is automatic, providing a healthy performance boost. That's it for Devblog 19. In the next blog, Sandbox will hopefully spring to life with a preview of the player, where characters can move around under a veil of fog of war. It's starting to look a lot more like the tutorial now, and the player takes us all the closer to playing the city defence minigame in patch 0.3. Until then, I look forward to seeing more community designs over in the forum.